A house is made of wood and stone, but only love can make a home. Welcome to the RepcoLite Home Improvement Show, helping you make your home into one you'll love even more. On News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Haley, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, Dan.
I had quite a week last week.
You did.
And we ended up airing a rerun kind of because of it.
Right, because you were out of the office for 3 whole days last week. And let me tell you guys, Dan does not take time off.
I don't.
This is a big deal.
No, we have a new HR person, and she came around, was it 3 weeks ago, and talked about all the time off that everybody's got. They're making some changes. They want to make us aware. And how much time off did she tell me I have?
I think you have something like 10 weeks.
Yeah, I have 420 some hours.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, so I've started taking a little bit more time off.
Yeah.
She encouraged that strongly.
This exists for a reason.
Yeah. So,
we want you to have a life, Dan.
But when I'm gone, it makes it harder, or when you're gone,
Yes.
it makes it harder to get a show together, and that's why we ended up playing a rerun last week. But more importantly, I want to talk about where I was, because I think there's some value in this, and it might be interesting to some people out there. I was at a motorcycle safety class at the Harley dealer in Hudsonville, and I feel really cool saying that I was at the Harley dealer, not just asking for directions about how to get to McDonald's.
But like riding a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
Crashing a motorcycle, but riding a motorcycle.
They're made to crash on the training course. Right? And yes, I had a little bit of that. Not as bad as Haley's making it sound. They said everybody does it.
Yeah.
That's not really what played out in the class. Not everybody did it. Okay. But some of us did. And, I think we got the better experience for it. We saw everything.
Right.
Anyway, if you are an experienced rider, they've got other classes, other levels of classes that you could look into. Even a basic class will still teach you a lot of basic skills that maybe you haven't worked on developing as much as you should. So it's something to look into for you.
Yeah, that's
If
cool.
you're thinking about starting this, like I am, I think it's a no-brainer. You've got to do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I can't imagine not doing that.
No, went through 2 full days of riding around on their range and learning a lot of different things, a lot of different skills, a lot of things to be aware of. It's Dan approved.
Dan approved.
2 big thumbs up.
Excellent.
Yeah, and they're not even wrapped in bandages or anything. They're
you've got your
perfectly
hands
fine.
still.
Yeah, I've done really well. Check it out. I don't know how many classes they've got going yet this fall. I think they're wrapping up pretty close.
Yeah.
But look into it for next spring. Definitely something to think about. All right, that's where I was last week. Let's look ahead to this week. What are we talking about? We've got the color of the year.
Yeah, 2023 color of the year from Benjamin Moore. It's a doozy.
Why do you say that?
It's unexpected. It's extremely unexpected.
I mean, okay. Yeah, it's very interesting because we have not talked about it. And I was writing a blog post. I have not posted. I've not even put any of the notes anywhere. But my very first sentence is Benjamin Moore's color of the year is a doozy.
Seriously?
Yes, that's the word I used.
Heck?
Yeah, so I was wondering if you were watching over my shoulder looking for tips and info. You weren't, right?
I had no idea.
No, I know. I thought that was
very
funny.
strange.
So yes, I think that's the word in the zeitgeist, right? It's or whatever that is. It's the word. It's a doozy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that coming up at the end of the show. We'll also be in the studio with Nick Sargent from Johnson Carpet One, talking about everything from countertops and backsplashes
To hardwood floors, to carpet, obviously, but everything that they do there, and even some trends and some ways to save money.
It's a really fun conversation. That's coming up next. Right now, let's talk about cheap stuff. We all love cheap stuff. And sometimes I'll buy cheap stuff that really embodies the word cheap fully.
Right.
It's garbage. The one that I always point out is a screwdriver set. I was on my way to a real store to buy, like a real hardware store to buy a literal screwdriver for a particular size screw that I had to do. I just didn't. I was new to the house and I didn't have all these tools amassed and I didn't have the right size screwdriver. And so I thought I'm going to go buy a new one. And I stopped at a dollar store. And I found 12 of them for $1.
Oh,
and I
my
thought,
gosh.
Can't go wrong.
What a deal.
Yeah, well, you can go wrong.
Yeah.
8 of them broke as I'm trying to take a screw out of a switch plate. I'm trying to unscrew the switch plate cover.
Yeah, we're not talking about that kind of cheap.
That's terrible cheap. The cheap we're talking about are my tennis shoes that I bought on vacation a couple years back. I named them. I loved them so much. I bought them because I didn't pack the right shoes for walking around Mackinac Island. Haley's thinking right now. He named his shoes Amos and Matt.
Amos and Matt.
Yes, I loved them so much. They were $13 for a pair of tennis shoes. I thought they would last me literally through that weekend, and that's all I needed.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll throw them away. They lasted for a couple years. They were so great. Every time I put them on, I'd tell people, I paid $13 for these.
And I named them.
Yeah, they're amazing. This one's Matt. This one's Amos. Anyway, I was sad when I had to get rid of those. That's the kind of cheap that I want to talk about right now in regards to paint tools, because there are some tools. We've got a list. I don't know how many we'll get through. We'll try our best. But if you buy all of these things, it costs you less than $10.
And they're like really critical things. Like they will make your life easier.
And they'll last and last, and you'll name them.
And you'll name.
I want to know what you name them. Let's talk about the first one, a paint pour spout. We've talked about them on the show before. They're $1.09 each.
Really inexpensive. This could be nameable because I think it would last forever. It's literally just a piece of plastic that fits right into the rim of a can so that when you pour the paint out, it doesn't make a mess.
Right. Marty. I think that's a good name for the paint pour spout.
I like it.
Seems like it would work.
All right.
Let's go to tray liners. I don't know that I'd name these.
No,
because
these
they're
are
disposable.
A little bit
You don't want to
more,
get too attached, but they're still inexpensive and they'll save you a ton of time.
Yeah, these are honestly critical. I'm really disappointed when I don't have these in a paint project, and I've even gone as far as like using an old one and flipping it inside out so that I can still have a tray liner, because it saves you so much energy at the end of your paint project. To be able to not clean the paint tray out is a blessing.
Oh, yeah, that's so good. Tray liners, aluminum foil. This one's a little bit strange, but it works so well. In between, as you're wrapping up a project for a night, that's where I use this all the time. And
like you're just hitting pause.
Right, you're hitting pause. I got this tip from Dan Altina, who was on the show a while back before Haley came on.
Yep.
And this is something he's done all the time. I'd never heard of it, but whenever he's brushing something out and needs to quit for the night, he'll wrap the brush in tin foil. Of course, you could wrap it in saran wrap and stuff like that, but with the tin foil, you can really mold it and get it airtight and sealed.
And his point, too, is that air can't pass through tin foil like it can pass through plastic. We don't think about that, but technically, it's more airtight because it's metal.
Yeah, so tin foil, get that. A rubber mallet, get that. That's better for sealing the lids. Don't use a hammer. Don't thump it with your hand, stuff like that, because it's just not going to seal well over time. Right. So a rubber mallet, a disposable razor knife. We've got those right at the counter. You will use that on so many different parts of a project.
That's just like a tool you should have for everything.
All the time, $1.25. And then the last one, very quickly, a can opener key.
They're free.
Get it for free. Ask us for one. We'll send it with you just like a stir stick.
Yes.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be in the studio with Nick Sargent from Johnson Carpet One talking about all things related to Johnson Carpet, right?
Yeah, everything.
That's next. Stay tuned.
Helping you turn your house into your dream home. This is the RepcoLite Home Improvement Show, presented by Benjamin Moore on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
And we're back, and Haley and I are in the studio with Nick Sargent from Johnson Carpet One. Nick,
thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Before we get into what we want to talk about, I got sick, a week ago, Haley? Mm-hmm. And I lost my voice, which was devastating for me, Nick.
Are you sure?
Yes, I talk a lot.
And that's probably why he lost his voice to begin with.
Yeah, and anyway, Haley was explaining that to Nick that, I've got a little bit of a brain fog and I'm just coming out of this. And rather than sympathy, Nick, you just went straight to old age.
That's old age.
Really? Really? You didn't mean that, though, right?
No.
Not at all. How old are you, Nick?
Not too far behind you.
Oh, still behind me, though. All right.
It's a friendly jab.
It is a friendly jab.
No, we wanted to talk to Nick from Johnson Carpet because you guys are one of the sponsors for our big contest where we're doing the $1,000 home repair package for one of the grand prize winners. And we wanted to do a brief overview of what you guys offer for those people out there listening, thinking maybe you might be the people they're going to pick.
All right. Well, Johnson Carpet One, or Johnson Carpet and Flooring. We're located downtown Grandville. We've been there for over 70 years now. We do all carpet, and then we also do all hard surface. So if it goes on the floor, we do it. All vinyls, hardwood, laminate products. We also carry a full tile selection for tile floors, tile showers, backsplashes, all that fun stuff. And then we also do counters, both your laminated or what people say Formica counters. Or
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And then,
Johnson Carpet makes me think carpet, right?
Yes.
So to have that huge variety of materials is impressive.
Our showroom, it's pretty expansive, pretty large. And then if you haven't been in there, sometimes, you might just focus on one area and not realize we have other areas in there as well. So.
Well, and that's completely true because we've had a couple of events where you've invited us to be there and you've got people there and all of that. And I'll go looking for the bathroom. And then I'll wander around and I'll find, all of this cool stuff. I mean, all kinds of stuff. But the way it kind of folds out, it kind of jumps out at you as you wander.
Yeah, so that's our main showroom. And then we also have our discount outlet down the street. It's on Broadway. It's just not even a half mile down the street from us. They carry, it used to be a lot more in-stock carpet remnants and things, but as people move more towards hard surface and luxury vinyl plank has become the exploding category, the main category, what everybody wants these days. We have over, I think, 70 or 100 SKUs of different products there these days. And, we just can't bring in enough of it. So.
Now, is that a place that people can go to and walk through? You've got...
Yep. And you can purchase right then and there and bring it home, and you can either do your installation yourself, or they will give you a list of installers if you're looking for a more professional installation.
All right.
Wow. I had no idea that existed.
Yes.
What the heck? We've had you on so many times, and I had no idea.
I think we talked about it in the past, but maybe when
Betsy was here.
But yeah. So it's been a while. Yeah.
Well, I want to go look at the bargain bin.
Yeah.
No, it's very cool. A lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, there's a small bargain bin area, and sometimes you can find like little cool stuff, maybe a remnant, and sometimes, maybe the higher end wool carpets, you can maybe find a small little piece for maybe just a small area rug or something like that.
Sure.
Kind of fun. Or if you're looking for something unique, you don't need a lot of it. Sometimes you can find that stuff there. So.
All right.
Very
so
cool.
The ceramic tile and all of that you do, you've got people on staff who will help us think this through as well, because that's not something that everybody just normally does. And I'm not talking about the installation, because I know you'll help with that. But even the planning it out.
Yeah. So at our main showroom, we do have designers who work at the main showroom, and they're versed in all the different products there. And they can help you put together. I mean, if you're looking to do a whole remodel of a house, they can help you from everything from the carpet to the hard surface flooring to the new counters to maybe the tile backsplashes and even the tile shower.
All right. So what's big right now? Let's talk about kitchen counters.
Yes.
What is the surface that's the surface to have right now?
Quartz is still the most popular these days for kitchen counters, just because the marble looks are so prevalent, the white with the veining. Obviously natural marble stone countertops can be quite expensive. They are a little bit more harder to manage because they can stain very easily and chip. Whereas we can make quartz look exactly like it. It's a man-made product. It's non-porous material, and it can take a beating and keep on licking. So I mean, so those tend to be the most popular.
All right.
That makes sense.
What about backsplashes? What are you guys doing for that? What is the big?
Subway tile, but subway tile I don't think it's ever going to go out of style.
Right.
It's a classic.
Your typical counter to cabinet is 18 inches. The range area in other areas might be bigger, but when you have that 18 inches, you can only do so many sizes that look proportioned there. So subway tile, now you're starting to see maybe some different sizes, 2x8s, 4x12s, 3x12s.
Yeah, I feel like I've been seeing like thinner tiles and stacked vertically rather than horizontally.
Yes. And then you're starting to see a little bit of that, retro 4x4, 6x6 come back.
Oh, really?
Just because there again, we've done so much subway tile lately that, trying to break it up a little bit or create some different designs again. So you're starting to see that. And also mosaics, of either natural stone or man-made products are always, popular because they can come in endless variety, endless colors, endless designs. So.
Well, that's kind of good to hear. I didn't change anything, and that means I'm coming back into style. I love that. It's landing on my feet. That's what that is.
That is awesome.
Yeah. All right. So we're in the studio with Nick Sargent from Johnson Carpet One in Grandville. Yeah. And, talking about, I guess I wanted to focus on kitchen cabinets or counters and backsplashes and all of that stuff. You talked about tile for showers and all of that.
Yes.
What are we doing in there? The little tiny tiles?
Well, the little tiny tiles are always great for shower floors just because most times in a floor inside a wet area like a shower that you get your grip from the grout. So the smaller the tile, the more grout you have, the more grip you can get on the floor.
That makes sense.
But, for wall tile there again, Subway's always going to be classic. It's always going to be very timeless design. You can never go wrong with the white Subway tile, and usually you do with a charcoal or a darker grout, kind of offset it.
Sure.
12 by 24s are mainstay size in either ceramic or porcelain tiles for floors. You're also seeing a lot of that in showers again. I personally like bigger on the wall just because bigger tile, less grout line, less to clean,
Yeah.
it's
a little more practical, probably.
Yeah. The grout's usually what you're cleaning the most. The tile, you can, wipe that off, and all you do is need your magic eraser and you're good to go. It's the grout cleaning. So it is the thing there. And then, you're starting to see, there again, the marble look there. We have 12. You can get stuff that's 24 by 24 or 24 by 48. I mean, these huge panel tiles.
Wow.
That's as big as me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It is.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Wow.
We just need like 4 of them, create a little box for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a casket. Perfect.
What? A casket? Is that because
Full
of my...
circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was feeling a little ill. I'd like a marble casket, but I can't afford one, so I'll get a fake one.
Yeah.
That'll be at least a little cheaper. All right. What about... I know there's something else that we want to ask, but I guess right now I'm curious about, let's talk about tile floors.
Yes.
Ceramic tile floors can be cold. What about the heating element?
Yeah. So heat's very common these days. We use the Schluter system. It's a German system. Most of the...
Hold on, Nick.
Yes, sir.
That is so much fun to say. Haley, would
I
you
knew
like to
were
say that?
The Schluter?
Schluter system.
Yes.
Awesome. Go for it.
And there's a couple other systems like Weedian, very similar, that they make all the waterproofing systems.
Sure.
And they do come with options to include in-floor heat under your floors. So
how expensive is that? For a guy who can't afford a marble coffin.
it gets a little pricey, because it's more the installation cost than the product cost. So that's where you're spending most of the money. It's a little bit more detailed. Obviously, you have to get an electrician involved and things like that. But yeah, it can really, make the difference between, running in the winter going, ooh, the floor's cold. They're like, the floor's warm.
Yes.
Yeah. Skipping over the floor, just kind of slouching across it like some kind of caterpillar or something, right? Because it's so warm and toasty, you just kind of lay there and slide across like a worm.
It's still a bathroom floor.
Oh, it's a bathroom. Well, I was thinking, entryway. That's even worse.
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right. So some expense involved, but it's probably worth it. Mm-hmm. The price of comfort and all of that.
Yeah, if you're looking long term and if you're planning on being in that house for the next, 10, 20, 30 plus years, I mean, overall, in the end, the cost is not that much for that extra comfort there.
All right. Well, Nick, we're going to take a break. I want to talk on the other side, if you can wait with us. Yeah. I'd like to talk about the prize package. Haley talked about that, and we've got listeners out there. Mm-hmm. One of them, random listener, is going to win an opportunity to choose a $1,000 prize package from any of these different businesses. Right. Okay. We'll have more details later. I do want to talk to you about what they might get out of it, some of the best bang for their buck.
Yes.
Can you do that? Wait with us?
I certainly can.
All right. We'll be back in just a minute with Nick Sargent from Johnson Carpet. Stay tuned.
If you want to take your DIY skills up a rung, the RepcoLite Home Improvement Show is here to give you a boost on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
And we're back, and Haley and I are still in the studio with Nick Sargent from Johnson Carpet. Thanks, Nick, for staying with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Did you have a good time during the break?
Yeah.
The best, right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah. We play the tunes, and everybody's dancing, running around. A lot of fun, right?
Yeah. Ran to the beach and back already.
Yeah, exactly. Tons of fun. Anyway, we just talked about all kinds of different things that Johnson Carpet offers. Johnson Flooring. I mean, what really is the right way to...
I mean, where everybody knows this as Johnson Carpet, but I mean, basically, it's really Johnson Interior Flooring Company.
Yeah, my goodness. Yeah. Countertops, ceramic tile, hardwood floors, laminate,
vinyl,
obviously carpet and things like that. And we talked about a number of those different things. Yes. Right now, let's talk about a $1,000 prize package.
Yes, sure.
If you haven't put carpet in recently, and I haven't. I have no idea how far $1,000 is going to go in a place like yours. You know, what would be some of the best things I could do with that money if I'm one of the winners, or if I'm just, anybody just listening who's looking for, a smaller investment type project to really make a big difference in their home?
If you're looking to do as much space as possible, carpet is always your best bang for your buck. Average carpet for material, labor, and installation is somewhere between $3 and $6 a square foot.
Okay.
So you can get the most area done with carpet. But it's in the upside of that, it's one of our softest products on the market. It's one of our cushiest products. It's one of our most sound insulating type products.
That's a good point too.
And things like that. So if you're looking to do like a lower level or a few bedrooms or maybe a living room and a staircase, you get your most bang for your buck with carpet.
All right. So what carpets would you recommend? Carpet, there's a bazillion options.
Yes. It's amazing. And every year when they're like, we can't top this, they come out with even more new stuff. And we're like, wow.
Just keeps going.
The cut pile or textures or friezes or, there's a few different terms for them. They tend to have some movement to them. They tend to come in multicolors, either your tonals or what we call Berber Flex, which are more traditional colors, or some of them will have jewel tones to them. Those tend to be the most popular because they tend to be the thickest carpets there. The more color you got going on, the more it hides things over time.
Sure, yeah.
Otherwise, what we call... in the industry, we call it cut loop carpet, LCL. People will most likely know it as pattern type carpets.
Okay.
Those, if we're...
So like they have pictures of bowling pins and stuff in them?
Oh my gosh.
No. Like at the arcade?
No, not that. We can get to that. That's your theater room carpet, and we have a whole section for that.
All right.
That huge theater you're building in your basement. We got the carpet for you. So.
Perfect.
Okay.
So what do you mean then? It's got floral prints.
It tends to have a cut pile and a loop construction together. They tend to be smaller scale. And then sometimes they're random. Sometimes, you can get them in floral prints or things like that. But most of the ones people want are random. So there's no set definition to them.
Gotcha.
Those are great for your more high traffic areas such as stairs, areas.
It sounds like it would hide more.
It does. It does. It hides more. It can take more of abuse. So
our bathroom's pretty high traffic.
Ew,
yeah,
no.
We're not doing carpet in bathrooms.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, he said high traffic, Haley. All right. That derailed the conversation, didn't it? All right. So carpet is one way to go.
Yes.
How about another?
The other way is if you're focusing on a bathroom.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So if you were to do like vinyl on the floor and then maybe if you had a tub, like a tile surround or something like that, or if you wanted to update the vanity with a new vanity and things like that, that's going to get your most bang for a buck in a small area. So things like that, it might not do the whole bathroom, but it could do a couple items in that bathroom and really give it a nice refresh,
So again, like on the counters, are you talking quartz would be the way to go?
Quartz or a laminated top or a Formica top, those.
Okay, and then talk about that because I know that there is, what do you call it? There's people who have opinions about plastic laminate.
Yes.
Versus something like quartz or all of that.
Yeah.
It can look pretty decent, can't it? It can be a great choice.
Yeah. The laminated counters, or I keep on saying Formica because most people say it's Formica counters, right? There's a couple different manufacturers for that, like Wilson Art, Formica, Nevermar, Arborite, Pineite. They're all very similar. Each of them have tons of different styles and varieties. And the stone looks, the granite looks, the marble looks, a lot of those, you really can't tell the difference unless you get up really close to it and you touch it. The visuals are phenomenal. They look great.
And the price is quite a bit different.
The price is about half of doing laminate or solid surface.
Speaking my language, Haley.
And, they have other, fun patterns that we can't quite do in other products,
Bowling pins?
Not bowling pins.
It's just the visual that I have in my head, and it won't go out.
They do like wood grain visuals, like you can get like something that look like butcher block. But because we only can do butcher block in so many different species, they pretty much have every wood species ever available in every color.
Right.
Some of them will have like retro patterns, very 60s, 70s.
That's what I think I would be into.
Kind of fun
like
stuff.
Like the boomerang pattern that was classic.
Yes.
It's kind of fun.
You know,
it's going to come back, Dan. Just wait.
I'm hoping it does. I've got it everywhere.
Or a houndstooth type pattern. You know, we can do fun things like that. And for a really cost-effective way, if you want like just go all the way out and just do something completely outside the box, you know, laminated countertops are a great option for that.
Easy maintenance too.
Yes, yeah, you just wipe them down.
Right.
The only real restriction on those is most of the time you have to have an overmount sink. You can't have an undermount sink.
Sure. Right. So that makes sense.
And I feel like that's most common anyways. Mm-hmm. So
we just have a bucket. But moving on. So any other thing? We've got maybe a few minutes left.
Otherwise, you know, if you're looking at kitchen, you might want to focus on maybe a new backsplash or new counters there. It might, you know, it wouldn't cover all the costs, but it'd give you a nice dent into that if you were to look at, you know, either solid surface or laminate counters with a new tile backsplash, you know.
And I mean, you get a new counter on, new backsplash, you paint the cabinets, you've got a new kitchen, basically.
You do. Yeah.
So that's a really big impact.
Yes.
That's where my focus is right now.
Right.
Is the kitchen.
What does the process look like? I mean, getting you out there and from the time you come out to measure something to installing it, what is the time frame? What does the whole process look like?
It depends on the product. You know, carpet is one of our easier things to do. So that could be, you know, from your first visit into the store, it could be a month from that to ordering to getting installation. Other products, you know, it could be a little bit longer. Sometimes it could be a little bit shorter. But, you know, anywhere between 1 to 2 months from your first initial visit is probably about the longest you're going to wait for something.
Okay.
That's
all right.
not bad at all.
How many installers? You've got all kinds of different installers ready to go?
Yes. We do have a ton of qualified installers, tradespeople, you know, and they specialize in different areas. So, because we don't like to mix our carpet and hard surface guys a lot like that, just so because
they don't get along.
Keep them separated.
It's like guilds or something. And they...
you know, because each product has a slightly different aspect they need of trade skills and things like that. So it's easier to just have just carpet installers. Yeah. You know,
you can cut carpet with a razor. But you can't cut quartz like that.
No.
See, look at me. I could be one of these people. All right. Nick's not impressed. All right, we're going to move on. If our listeners want to get in touch, Nick, because like I said, and we've been mentioning, and we will say it again, somebody's going to win.
Yes.
But anybody out there might be looking for the stuff you offer, and you just went through a ton of it. How's the best way for them to get in touch? Where do they find your showroom? And where is that bargain place that you talked about?
So our main showroom, Johnson Carpet One, is downtown Grandville, corner of Chicago Drive in Wilson, basically. You know, big parking lot in back. There's street parking on Chicago Drive as well. We're open Monday through Saturday. Just come on in the showroom. One of our designers can help you on that. Our discount store is located down the street. It's on Broadway. It's about a half mile from Johnson Carpet One. There's a sign out front there, and that's open there again Monday through Saturday.
Awesome.
The only day we're closed in both locations is Sundays.
All right, so regular hours, same hours at the other? Okay,
yes.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then the website. What's the website?
You can go to johnsoncarpet.com or find us on Facebook.
Awesome. Anything else? I think that's pretty good, right?
Yeah. That was
Is there anything you wanted to throw in, Nick?
I think that's it for today.
All right. Awesome.
Well,
Nick Sargent from
Thank
Johnson
you.
Carpet One. Thanks for being here. Now, all right. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll be talking about what we think about Benjamin Moore's new color of the year. That's all just ahead. Stay tuned.
If you want to take your DIY skills up a rung, the RepcoLite Home Improvement Show is here to give you a boost.
Well, Haley, it's time.
It's the moment we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, it's time to talk about Benjamin Moore's Color of the Year for 2023.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of you are aware of it, if you care. If you care, you're already aware, right? Yeah. So it came out on Wednesday, this past Wednesday. It's called Raspberry Blush. If you don't care, we're going to tell you why you need to. I mean, this is life-changing stuff that we've got. This is going to alter your perception of reality by the time we've finished. 10 minutes, you're going to look at the world entirely different because of Benjamin Moore's Color of the Year for 2023.
Raspberry Blush.
Haley, why don't you tell them exactly how all that's going to happen?
Well,
it's you now.
Pushing us outside of our comfort zones. You know,
Yeah,
that's
I
an
know.
important thing. I do believe that.
Okay.
That it's an important thing to be pushed outside of your comfort zone.
Right.
We talked about it at the design event. You know, if you stay exactly where you know already, you're never growing or changing or learning, and that's not good.
Yep.
So potentially this is life-changing.
Right. So everybody who's paying really close attention realizes how Haley feels about the color of the year. It's not her favorite. Let's describe the color, and then we'll talk about the Color Trends palette, because when Benjamin Moore releases a color of the year, they always follow it up with a palette of supporting cast members, basically.
Yes.
Let's think about it as that. And this play that we're looking at is bizarre.
It's
these
bizarre.
cast members are kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But Raspberry Blush, let's talk about that briefly and work our way through.
It's like a saturated coral color, so it's like a pink orange.
Yeah.
But really, it's a lot of color.
A lot of color, Raspberry Blush, and then the rest of the colors, there's a cinnamon color, which is kind of a terracotta-y, like a little dark
which
terracotta.
That makes sense. I feel like that's kind of where trends are moving. There's also another brown that I'm not going to say the name of, but
you can't.
It's kind of a purple. It's
Yes.
a brown purple.
I think that's funny. That's a word. I don't know if have we termed that, or is that word out there?
Oh, it's new now.
It's new now. Yeah, it's a purpley brown, so it's a
Yeah.
burple. And really, it sums up exactly what you would picture when you say the word purple. Savannah green is a yellowy green.
It's like one of those colors that would give my mom a migraine instantly.
Okay, so yeah, we're really, really flying here. How about Starry Night Blue? That sounds wonderful.
Sounds great.
But when you look at it,
it's very saturated again. It's none of these colors have a lot of black or white in them to kind of take the edge off. Normally I gravitate towards colors that are a little bit toned down. They're a little muted. My eyes can rest on them for a long period of time without feeling overwhelmed. They scale really easily that way, but with these...
Well, they are sold with a blindfold. So
they're a little overwhelming, I can imagine.
Well, like I said, you've got a little blindfold. It comes with each purchase, and you look at them for a minute and cover it. I know I'm joking. I'm being extreme.
Yes.
In my opinions, because I do like this palette to some extent. There's value to be had from it. Some of the colors are easier on the eyes than others.
Yes.
North Sea green is kind of a teal color.
Yeah,
it's a
that's
very
nice.
saturated teal, but it's a nice teal.
Yes.
I like that one a lot. New Age is kind of a purpley gray.
It's like a lavender color. That one's
is that
not
a bray?
bad. A bray?
Like a donkey? No, that's just a purpley gray. And that one's pretty decent. What's the other one that you like?
Conch shell?
Yeah, it looks like skin color.
It's not skin color.
Haley said she'd paint this in a bathroom, and
I have painted this in a bathroom. Not this exact pink, but a very similar one, and it's a nice look. It's just like a nice light blush color.
It's so skin color for me. I can't imagine. I think I'd just disappear as I'm getting ready for my shower.
It's not skin colored.
There I am. Whoa, where'd I go? Where'd I go? Oh, yeah, there I am. So anyway, there's the color palette, and as you've gathered, it's not our favorite thing right now. Now,
but this is the thing.
Okay, here's one of the things. This is Haley's thing.
Is that, again, they're pushing people outside their comfort zones. And I think that was done intentionally to some degree. I think they're aware that these colors are not what everyone was expecting. Because honestly, in a lot of past years, most paint companies come out with a fairly similar palette of colors. Mm-hmm. It's like their version of the color trends, but they're not that different from each other. Last year, I think even the names were similar.
Right.
So they're definitely moving away from everyone else in this. They're outside of the pack.
Well, and I think part of what we need to take into consideration is that in the Midwest, where we're located, we're slow adopters. We don't jump into new things. A lot of the feedback that I've been hearing and reading about this color release is coming from the West Coast and the East Coast, and people are excited.
Especially the West Coast, where people already lean more into vivid, saturated colors.
Right, they do. But the argument is they're so happy to have color again in the palette. They've been very sick of the neutrals and the muted colors that we tend to gravitate towards. So I think, in about 2 or 3 years, we'll start to like
maybe
these.
10.
Yeah. And we'll catch up. But then by then, things will have moved on.
Yeah.
So to be fair, this isn't just for our area. They're trying to predict and come up with color trends for
That's true.
everybody. And we just happen to be a little slower. We're a little more conservative in how we approach color.
Mm-hmm.
The things I like about it, like Haley said, they're pushing us outside of our bounds.
Yes.
And that's interesting. I think the thing that I got most out of this as I'm looking through it, and I've got to pull up my notes here because I've made some very brilliant points. I look back on the literature and the language that they use in the literature, and you know how I feel about it. Some of the,
Yes.
The flowery language that I just think says, it sounds really nice, but is it saying anything?
Yeah.
So here's what they've got. They're describing the color, and this is quoted right from their literature. It's inspired by an artist's desire to communicate through color, shape, and sound. Color Trends 2023 was built to envelop you, us, all of us, in vivacious color. Right? Okay.
Charismatic. They use that word a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. To commemorate this year's selection, Benjamin Moore partnered with the electro-funk duo Chromeo. We're not even going to talk about this, but this electro-funk Chromeo to underscore the upbeat and optimistic tone of the palette. Basically, this band created a song called Raspberry Blush
for Benjamin Moore for this color.
You just have to check that out. Here's the quote that I liked. They did that to demonstrate and underscore the upbeat and optimistic tone of the palette and the dynamic role color plays in self-expression. Okay? That little line, the dynamic role that color plays in self-expression, is the line I'm taking from this and I'm running with. That's the thing that 100%. I like about it, because I think so often in decorating, I don't know that we decorate for self-expression.
Yeah.
We're decorating, we're decorating basically for the voices in our head, for the critics in our head, for the people that we know, our family members who will come through and judge what we've put on the walls, and judge in one way or another.
Sure.
But often, everybody I know talks about it, how they put their colors together, they decorate for their friends or whatever. They want people to come through and say that it looks great.
Just for the world at large. I don't even know if it's we realize that we're doing it for other people all the time, but we have this idea that there is a world out there that is doing one thing and we should follow that thing.
Right. And so we want to create something that's beautiful and cohesive, and we want other people to approve of it to some extent, one way or another. And that's not bad. I'm not advocating that we create something hideous just for the sake of it. But what I'm thinking is that the self-expression part should be bumped up to the front of the line.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And the secondary benefit or outflow is going to be something that looks great. And I think that's going to happen. But if we focus first on expressing who we are, and when you think about it, all the marketing blah, blah, blah aside, I don't know much that does more to express self-expression or to infuse a home with self-expression than the color on the walls.
Right.
And I'm not saying that you need to go to some of these crazy colors that are in this palette, but I do think this palette challenges us and says, hey, step outside, look at something different, find where you fit. And if you fit with all the neutrals or that farmhouse chic or shabby chic or the modern farmhouse look or whatever, fine, run with it. Make that your palette. But if it's something different, just start decorating for you with the focus on self-expression. That's what I'm taking out of this as the most valuable thing that this palette's expressing. That
even designers have a tendency to fall into patterns of colors that they know will work. They know this will look good and acceptable. And I recently talked to a designer that had a client that was just really, really into this super bright yellow, like school bus yellow. They wanted it on their cabinets. And she was really advocating against it. They did it. It looks great. So it's hard to imagine.
I think you need to try. You need to explore. And this challenges you to do that. Now, we've got to wrap this show up.
Yeah.
We're going to keep talking, and we're going to air that on the YouTube version when the show comes out.
Yes.
But right now, we've got to wrap it up. If you want to catch this one again, you can find it online at RepcoLite.com. Whatever you do today, make sure paint's a part of it. The RepcoLite and Port City paint stores are open until 3, waiting to help. I'm Dan Hansen.
I'm Haley Johnson. Thanks for listening.